Hey guys, what's up? I'm Zach. Welcome to Zach's Soapbox. This is the video for the week of Friday, March 27th, 2026. Hello everyone, I'm your hostless little shindig we call Zach's Soapbox. I'm Zach. Welcome to my little corner of YouTube and corner of the world where once a week I get on here, speak my mind, talk about whatever I want to talk about. Then upload it and you guys give me feedback. Maybe you liked it, maybe you didn't. Come to you live today from my living room. That's my TV behind me. And I keep blankets and shit on the windows to keep the heat out because out here by like next weekend it's already going to be like 98 degrees, almost 100 degrees already, and only March. But anyways guys, what I got for you this week is I noticed as I've aged, I turned 40 this last birthday. I'll be 41 years old this year, and I noticed as I've aged, I've always been a natural loner, but I noticed that I've become more and more less social as I age. And it's like, Zach, are you less social or are you just more selectively social? I think it's like a natural part of, and a healthy part of aging, because it takes energy to socialize and make friendships and make bonds with people. So you become more selective with that energy as you age. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. I don't think there's really anything wrong with that. Like in my building where I live, a lot of these people are kind of shut in or they don't really go many places. So then all they have to talk about is talk about each other and that sort of thing. That's one of the reasons I don't hang out and sit out like that no more. Because I just felt like it was kind of sapping my energy, and I was kind of turning into one of them where all I would talk about is bitch about other people or bitch about like what was going on. You know what I mean? Like say if I was having a bad day or to where you just kind of, every time you talk to me, I'm bitching. And I was kind of turning into that, and I didn't want to be. So I've kind of separated myself quite a bit. But so as you age, you kind of look for more deeper conversations, try to stay away from the more superficial ones that don't really mean anything. And you save a lot of energy by staying away from negativity and drama. And plus, I'm more happy, in here by myself listening to a lecture, making a soapbox video, doing my weightlifting, doing my cardio machine, yada, 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 and that sort of thing, because I'm one of the people that are happiest when they work on themselves. But even if I had a chair, which I'm still working on getting a chair, but they came last Friday and they measured me for a new chair, and we've submitted the paperwork to the insurance company. So by the end of the month or early next month in April, I should have a new chair, and that sort of thing. I will keep you posted. Maybe I'm going to do a new video on the chair when I get it, but we'll see. And I notice too, as you age, you kind of have a lower tolerance for drama and bullshit. You know what I mean? How many times can I hear, oh, did you hear what so-and-so bought off Amazon and they wore it and it looks so ugly, or they're trying to emulate this person or look like that person, or da-da-da-da-da. Did I hear what so-and-so wore a tank top and they don't have as big muscles and wide as shoulders as you do, Zach, and they look ridiculous. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And this and that, and this and that. And it's like, man, why so negative? I thought by moving here that I'd be around my peers, because for the first time in my life, this was supposed to be a building for disabled people. Okay, but what this has kind of turned into, yes, these people have disabilities, but their disability doesn't mean shit. It's about personality and who the person is. And so I made the mistake of assuming that because somehow these people were disabled like me, that these somehow were also my peers. But that's not really the case, because it also depends on, like say the age a person is. Like if they age into disability and they were always kind of an asshole, they're just still going to be an asshole in a wheelchair. You know what I mean? Or if they were always a negative downer type person, they're still going to be that, even though they're in a wheelchair. So a lot of times it's like personality and things like that also play a factor. You know what I mean? So one of the ways I try to combat, because if you stay in solitude too long, it can kind of get lonely, But so you have to kind of learn to enjoy your own company. But you would certainly want to prioritize quality of friendship over quantity of friendship. You might, where you have friends that maybe you don't talk to every day, but maybe if you talk to just once a week, and it's a good quality friendship, and you're always there for each other no matter what. You know what I mean? Like that Thursday phone call or that Thursday voice message between you and a buddy, once a week, that sort of thing. Stay active, of course. exercise, read, watch Jeopardy. I just finished watching Jeopardy here before I recorded this video. I exercise, of course, with the weightlifting and the cardio machine and things like that. And also use social media, but use it for the tool that it is. Always remember, social media is just a tool. It is not life. And don't live your life on it, and don't judge your self-worth and your net worth by things like, well, maybe not your net worth, but your self-worth by things like Facebook likes, Instagram likes, and comments, etc., etc. I mean, Christ, I've been stuck at 63, 64 subscribers here on the YouTube channel for the longest time now, but I don't judge the channel's worth by how many likes and subscribers I get. I mean, if I get more, that's great. But, in a way, I almost do this for me too. It's something, gives me a way to vent and be a cathartic thing for me, that sort of thing. But definitely stay connected with those whom you love and care about. And, in Satanism as my own God, I get to determine for myself who and what I care about, and who and what I love, and more selective. So why not apply that selectivity to socialization? You know what I mean? But I don't think I'm less social. It's just more selectively social. You got to meet someone that kind of has some of the same interests and things like that. But, I'm not a drinker. I'm not a pothead. I'm not, I don't look to do things like that. I'd rather try to challenge myself. You know what I mean? Which a lot of people don't seem to want to do. You know what I mean? A lot of people are kind of happy, just kind of almost like what Nietzsche called the last man, where they're just kind of happy with kind of maintaining the status quo and never rocking the boat, where they never try to challenge themselves. Whereas to me, to truly be an Ubermensch, you have to kind of challenge yourself and challenge your own perceptions. I believe it was the revolutionary Emma Goldman who once said that those who never dare to move never realize their chains. And even if I did have a chair right now, maybe once a week or something, or twice a week, I'd go over to the movies, but that'd be about it. You know what I mean? I live out here in Vegas, but I'm not really a gambler. The shows and stuff, it's like I've kind of been there, done that, because I was coming to Vegas for almost 20 years before I ever moved here, 15 years or so before I ever moved here. So, as far as the strip and the shows, I've already did all that, you know what I mean? So those days are long gone. I don't want to rehash stuff, but I just, living here, man, it's like you get tired of the same old conversation over and over again. What so-and-so wore, or it's like, man, get out and get a fucking life. Especially some of these people that have cars and are able to drive, and they sit there and talk about how I did 20,000 steps with my Fitbit, but then can't get in the car and drive to go out and do something and go to like Silver Sneakers or go to the gym. You know what I mean? Now my apartment in here is a gym as it is. I have my arm bike in here, my bendy bar, resistance bar things. I have my dumbbells in here, that kind of shit. So my apartment is kind of my gym, but you just got to try to stay active, stay in your lane, and you got to kind of carve out your own little path and kind of stick to it. You know what I mean? I find that the best thing to do, as much as oh, Zach, you need to be more social. Well, I already tried that, and what happens is you end up getting dragged down and being just like the people you socialize with. You are the kind of company you keep. So I just, even when I'm out and I see somebody, you keep it at small chit chat, or, the latest movie that they saw, or hi and bye. But for the most part, don't socialize much. It's not really worth it. You know what I mean? And then, like when I'm outside, you can't even sit on the porch because all you smell is like weed and pot smoke and stuff like that, and cigarette smoke. And, then I got to listen to people cough, and weed smokers cough. Christ, they'll cough to the point where their fucking face turns purple and their eyeballs bulge out of their fucking head. That cannot be pleasurable. When you get a cold and you cough for a lot and like your ribs start hurting, tell me what's the pleasure and what's the appeal of coughing to the point where your face turns purple and your fucking eyeballs start bulging out of your head? Okay? So you can't even sit outside because I gotta hear fucking coughing too. So it's like, it's the point you don't even want to go outside, But, alright guys, I filled in about 10 minutes for this one. Be sure to tune in next week. I'll have something different for you. And be sure to hit the like, comment, and share button and all that stuff. Spread this around if you can. YouTube likes that. We get a lot of views, but we don't get much interaction. You know what I mean? And some of these, you'd think I'd get a little bit more interaction than what I do. But, it is what it is. But all right, guys, have a good weekend, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye.